Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Brooke Brigham, I'm the attorney.
And I'm Tess Brigham, I'm the therapist.
And we are back to the Sister Wives Rewind.
Woo-hoo.
We are picking up where we left off, which is season 6, episode 1.
Yes.
And if you want to go back and listen to seasons 1 through 5, they start on February 13th, 2023, and they go every week up until, I guess, when season 18 started, which was August.
Yes. Well, I think we did have a few weeks in there where we were doing double duty, but then we decided we couldn't handle that much Cody.
Too much Cody.
It was a lot.
In 1 week. So 1 day is our max.
1 day a week.
Yes. Even though we're talking about this show constantly all the time.
Well, it's like 1 day a week, much like the wives, which is what they got to.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about it now or at the end of the episode, but there is some, it's not really hot gossip. Everyone knows by now, but Mary's got a man.
Yes. Again, balding.
But at least he embraces the balding.
Yes.
He's not trying to hide it.
Yes.
There's some elaborate comb over.
And, gosh, what's his name again?
Amos,
that's it. I was like, I said, it's a different kind of name.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks cute. But has there been controversy about him already that he's been married 4 times, 5 times?
I think 3 or 4 times. But I think,
and they're all. Real quick. I saw they're all real short marriages. It's like 2
and I think
years.
he was young, like in his 20s.
Yeah, but he kind of kept doing it, like 2 years here, 3 years here.
Well, come on. Cody just had 3 wives leave him. So,
yes.
It's all relative.
I think Amos is the kind of person who, kind of like Jennifer Lopez, like keeps marrying.
Yeah.
Instead of just dating and kind of seeing where it goes and giving it some time, just like, we're in love. Let's get married.
Being married.
I guess so.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm happy for her. I hope that this is, a good relationship.
She looks great. She looks happy. She looks happy. She looks, her hair looks better. Yeah. She just seems like a lot happier, in general. Yeah. So I'm very happy for her.
Yeah. Well, I hope it, like I said, hope it works out. I didn't see the Friday with Friends, but I guess Jen interviewed him on the last Friday with Friends.
Okay.
So I don't know. Does that live on?
I don't know.
On Instagram?
I don't know.
Can you go back and look at it? I don't know either.
Well, I don't know about you because it was what's been so interesting about watching season 6 now after everything we've been through this last year.
Yes.
And all I kept thinking is, lies. It's a den of lies. You are all liars. You know what I mean? It's just like, what are we watching? Is all of this just
it's all
a fabrication of what is anything? Because Cody's like, love you. I love you. Oh, I love you. And it's like, lies. But
he never loved any of them. He never wanted to get married to Mary. He and Mary are so affectionate with each other.
Yes.
And I'm still it's still a mystery to me, because even in one of the first couple episodes, they talk about how they've had their issues, and I still don't understand when their issues started, what they were. Someone explain this to me. Like, I feel stupid. It's like, what? Because, they claim it was long before the catfishing, and I don't know, maybe we'll figure it out. But so we're starting out this season. It's the first episode is called Picking Up the Pieces.
Yes.
And so they do a little recap of, the last season, and we see Robin offering to be a surrogate.
We see them fleeing Utah.
Yes, of course. Every season has to start with
the fleeing of Utah, and the saddest fleeing I've ever seen in my entire life, where you break down 15 times fleeing out of town.
And then they also flashback this scene where Leon and Cody are talking about how they're upset that Mary can't have more children, and Mary's crying and saying, "I'm sorry." And I felt really bad for her. And that's another thing that's becoming apparent to me, is that I think Cody did lose respect for her because she couldn't have more kids, and she wouldn't
sacrifice and do all these like in vitro and all of these very
and
invasive,
the surrogacy
and invasive procedures.
Right.
I mean, neither you nor I had problems getting pregnant, but I have heard enough stories from women where, 5 rounds, 6 rounds of, the poking and prodding and then
the disappointments.
It's awful.
Yeah. And by that, and her child's leaving home, and she talks about how, am I going to just start over again? I can't really see that. She didn't see that for herself or want that for herself. And Cody, I think that's the beginning of Cody holding a grudge against her, or their issues or problems or whatever it was.
Well, what I also thought was interesting too is what we heard about today is how Mary felt like, I was so isolated and alone. That's why the catfishing stuff started. That's why I was going online and talking to people. And again, we're already seeing that you're not operating. They keep blaming the move to Vegas. The move to Vegas is what split them apart. But you're still not operating like a complete family, because technically Leon leaving the nest doesn't mean that Mary's without children, if technically all these other children are also her children.
Right.
And so why was she so isolated? Was it that people just stopped inviting her around, or was it that she isolated herself? Or because you all talked about wanting to raising these children together, but you're not raising them together.
Right.
You're not.
Right. No, the only people who shared child raising was Christine and Janelle.
Yeah. And
I think Mary was separate in that way even before they left Lehigh. I think in the Lehigh house, I kind of seemed she didn't want kids coming in and out of her place. She, I think she's always been like this.
Yeah. And so maybe you're right. Maybe Cody also, and maybe the other women, whether they were aware of it or not, made her feel like, because in our society, right, if you're a woman, if you're not motherly, then you're, that's the worst thing ever. God forbid.
Yeah.
You're not a motherly kind figure.
Yeah. Because she had a good relationship with her own child. But I don't think she was really that interested in taking care of, everyone else's kids too. I mean, she would, when they would do stuff together as a family, she would always participate, whatever. But like outside of that, just on a day-to-day basis, I don't think she was interested in taking care of other people's kids.
Yeah, and neither am I, I'll be honest with you.
Neither am I.
I babysat, but I was not like, I did not love babysitting. I don't even think I was going to have kids. The only 2 children I like taking care of are Layla and Max, and that's it.
I know. I find other people's children annoying most of the time.
Yes.
Okay.
All righty. Anyway.
So, So they're in the recap. They're talking about how they've got to get into these houses because their family culture is crumbling. So, and we see Logan, going off to college and. Okay. Yes. So anyway, so it's been almost 2 years since they moved from Utah, and they talk about how traumatizing and stressful it was, and that these houses are being built in the cul-de-sac, but they still have to qualify for the loans. I can't believe we're still going through this.
Forgot that they hadn't qualified yet. I was like, oh crap. And it's apparently right here on the first episode, 60 days to Christmas. And they're framing the houses. And they still don't even know if they can afford these houses or they can't afford them.
No.
But can they qualify?
Can they qualify for a loan? Maybe not.
And I also feel like this is around the time that Mona was like, these goddamn people are so annoying. Why did I get connected to them? Do you know what I mean? Mona was pretty put together in the beginning of this relationship, and now she's just like, oh God.
Yeah, you can tell she's in these first few episodes, and she is really sick of these people. She's like, when is this job going to be done?
Just qualify already.
Yeah, please. So, so they're doing a walkthrough of all the houses. And they all come with hard hats. And the builders are like, you don't need to wear those.
Cody was so sad. He was like, oh, no hard hats.
Oh, I can't wear my hard hat. But you can put your gloves on, Cody, but just don't touch anything, please.
And how annoying would this be? I mean, I know they were super excited, but I would be so annoyed if I had to walk through 3 other people's homes. Yeah. And like, ooh.
Yeah.
God, like, how many times do we have to do this?
Who cares?
Yeah.
So they go to Robin's house first. Of course. I don't think anything in particular happened there.
I didn't even write down any notes. I was like, what is new and different?
Well, Mary finds a flaw in her house. I forget what it was.
It's like
a window was wasn't where it was supposed to be or something. I couldn't even tell. When I look at those framings, I don't know where things go. I don't. Anyway, and then they talk about how each wife has the same budget. And then there was also a flaw at Christine's house. And they said, well, let's make this room a library. And Christine's like, oh, I love a library. She just makes, lemonade out of lemons.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, that was kind of filler stuff. And we got to get in by Christmas, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Well, I really wrote down the next part, which is the sister wives' closet.
The meeting.
It's
a
business meeting. Yes. And it's all the adults are there for the meeting. And they're talking about the What Women Want Expo in Utah. And
in St. George, Utah.
What Women Want in Utah? I was just like, that's interesting.
That's a very,
So
name.
The sales are very, very low. And the other problem is that they all can't get on the same page about this goddamn business. Like, who wants to do it? Who doesn't want to do it? And I will say, because we see this for the next couple episodes, this back and forth. I actually have a little bit of empathy for Robin, because it would drive me nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of up and down, back and forth.
If I got someone's buy-in, then they're here, then they're there. I mean, Janelle, I love Janelle, but Janelle, you really did this.
Christine did too, and Cody. Yes. He was like, well, I don't really feel comfortable selling jewelry. And it's like, well, then do something else to help. But, you can't just bail.
Well, and the other thing, too, is he was so weird about, it's sister wives and I'm a man. And it's like, oh, Cody, no, don't worry. No one's questioning your masculinity.
Right. We know you're the husband.
Yeah.
Duh.
Got it. Okay. It's fine. So silly. But they're talking about this expo. It's an expo in St. George. And the problem is, I guess day one, Mary has a conflict that she has to, the whole thing, the thing opens at 3, but she would have to leave at 3:30. And Robin wants her to go anyway, because she's a pusher. She's good with this stuff. But I'm like, that makes no sense. So,
no, and it's a 4-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't believe Mary did that.
Yeah.
She did. She came and helped set up and left.
She did? I thought she came.
Didn't she?
Oh, anyway. Well, so Janelle, I can't remember if Janelle said this to everybody or to the camera, but she says, we have to sell 100 pieces to justify this weekend, and we can't afford another loss. So she's already poo-pooing everything. And again, yes, that's the dollars and cents, and I'm with you on that. Absolutely. But a team meeting of what are we going to do? It should come from a place of, okay, what we're doing online isn't working, or what we're doing here isn't working. So what do we do differently? It's just, I don't know. It's real hard to create a business and get it rolling when more than half the people in it are wanting to pick out everything that's not going well.
Well, and also they just started this business.
Yes.
You don't just start a business and immediately start making a bunch of money, usually. So,
but I think they thought, because of the fame of the show,
right?
I think they really counted on. I think they really thought, like, we could produce anything and we can slap it up there. I really do think that. I think that was Cody's attitude for sure. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the price point. It doesn't matter anything, because it's very obvious they did no research. They did zero research when they decided to build this business.
Yeah, and the price point of those jewelry pieces is kind of high.
Yeah. And that was the issue. It was the one that had all of them together. I think, did it retail for $200, $300?
Yeah, I saw one. Yeah, it was $230 or something.
And this is
10 years ago, too.
Yeah. And also this is they started the show in 20. So this is about 2015-ish. And so the economy is bouncing back. But again, they didn't, economically, we had just had this big recession. So people were starting to make money again. But things still weren't great.
Yeah, no, everybody's very impatient.
Yeah.
And I did feel for Robin through all of this. And, they're calling it a pet project, a hobby business. Janelle saying, how am I going to put food on the table with this? I mean, she's really very negative.
Well, she keeps going, I want to focus on my real estate business. And it's kind of like, okay, Janelle, I don't want to be rude, but you used to work full time. Now, I don't know what you all are doing now.
Right. I don't know either.
I'm sorry. You and I both have full-time jobs on top of this podcast. I do lots of other things. Like, you can do multiple things at once, Janelle.
You can be part of this business and you can sell real estate.
Yes, you could go.
Because both are very flexible.
Yes, exactly.
And, you can pick and choose what you're going to do. I mean, she has a terrible attitude. And Christine has a terrible attitude. She says, I never intended to be in this business. I want to do real estate. If I show up and don't roll my eyes, then that's being supportive. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, Christine, you didn't even do real estate anyway, because you found out you'd have to work on the weekends.
Yeah. 6 weeks in a row. That's an upcoming episode. Oh my God.
Yeah.
6 weeks. What? 6 weeks?
Don't she's like, I can't do that. What did you, again, research?
Yes.
Before you went and studied and took this exam multiple times, you didn't look into, like, what's involved in selling real estate.
Any job where you are working with the general public, myself included, being a therapist, until everything shifted and changed, I worked weekends and nights and weird times. And yes, no one wanted
when people are not working, that's when they can come and see you.
Yes, yes. It's very, very different now. But yes, when did you think people were going to tour homes, Christine?
Yeah, at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday?
Yeah, right after you drop your kids off at school.
I know.
Anyway, that drove me nuts. But these two are just negative Nancys.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they're both like, can't be emotionally invested. It has been a drain. I'm like, it's a drain already? This is a drain already?
I guess. Well, we all know this.
Yeah.
this doomed from the start.
So it's the day of the expo, and the family is packing to go to St. George, and again, the typical packing of the Browns, but it's also Solomon's first birthday. Ooh. So we learn about St. George. What? You want to talk about Solomon?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, Robin is talking about how she grew up in St. George, and there, everybody, when you say FLDS. Everyone thinks of Warren Jeffs, and this is all they know.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's a little nervous about how they're going to be received. And there were quite a few people that did not receive them very well.
Yes, yes. And again, why do this expo?
Right. Why are you going to St. George where people are going to be more biased against you?
Mm-hmm.
And for your Sister Wives brand, and everyone's seen them on TV by now. They know who they are.
Yeah.
Why are you going?
Yeah, I don't know. It was again. I think that, and again, I don't dispute Janelle's frustrations because it does feel like they're just poking things in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, then why don't you say, okay, we need to have a business plan. We need to have a strategy. We need to ask ourselves these questions, because I feel for them. I'm sure they spent a lot of money, like going to the expo and paying for the expo and
paying for the product to have, they had to manufacture a certain amount of jewelry.
So this was my favorite thing. So next we see someone interview. So the one person they interview about the What Women Want Expo is a man. I'm like, he's running it? Did you not notice that? I was like, this is the What Women Want Expo, and our spokesperson is this guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was so weird. Like so this tells you a lot about Utah. It tells you a lot about this expo.
Yeah.
Because what
else did they have at the expo? I didn't.
But I think, and it feels really, it doesn't feel like women empowerment kind of thing.
It was kind of like a crafts fair.
It felt like it was like, jewelry and crafts and things that women like, women-y things.
Yeah. What women want.
Yes. Apparently women just want to wear jewelry and make crafts, apparently. Nothing more.
Yeah. Well, I like doing those things myself, but
Yes. Psych Legal Pop will be back after these messages.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
So anyway, I wrote down it's a really big deal.
A really big deal.
I'm sure some people said really big deal.
I also noticed they were selling their book.
Yes.
They were signing books and selling copies of their books. And once again, I have to point out, they had their banner sign with the improper grammar.
Okay, because of Sister Wives Closet.
Because it's Sister Wife singular. And it should be, it's wife, W-I-F-E apostrophe S. It should be Sister Wives
Closet.
Yeah. Sister W-I-V-E-S apostrophe.
Yes.
Possessive.
Yes.
Anyway.
We love to break out in grammar talk.
It annoys me.
Because our parents were grammar Nazis. And they just made us nuts. But then, so here I wrote down Mary showed up the next day and started moving things around because she wasn't there for the setup. Because when she shows up, she starts moving stuff around. Like she just starts doing that. And I don't know. I'm not great with the space stuff, so I don't know if she made it better or worse. I don't know what she did, but that's why I knew she didn't show up till the next day.
Oh, okay. Changed everything around.
Yes. So, God, this was so hard to watch. So it's 30 minutes in, no jewelry sold.
Yeah.
Robin's dad and Solomon show up because it's his birthday.
Aurora was there.
And so is this when they start interviewing people where someone was saying that the jewelry is really expensive as opposed to the other pieces at the expo. And this is another good example of who's going to be at this expo. Is this the right target audience?
Yeah.
Or who, because of course they're having a hard time with this, because not only are you, when you give them money, if you're fundamentally against polygamy. So there, right there, people don't want to give you their money. And then on top of that, even the people that didn't care one way or the other, you're competing with these other things.
Yeah, it's too expensive for this venue.
And the thing is that and that's the whole thing about jewelry is you either want to buy cheap jewelry, or when you really want to invest money in jewelry, it has to be very meaningful to you. And that's why I think this price point is it's too weird.
Well, that's the other thing too, the talking about meaningful, like they have all these designs that are meaningful to them,
or to a sister wife.
Or to a sister wife. Robin's showing how, this represent each of us. Okay, well, the average person is not going to connect with that. And it's people who are sister wives or whatever, that's a very small audience that you're selling to. It's not enough people. So lots of problems. But the first day, I think they only sold 4 pieces.
7. Well, 8 hours in.
8 hours in, they sold
4 pieces. Everyone's dejected. And then I then saw that day 1, they calculated it was 7 pieces.
Okay. Day 2, 7 pieces. So,
So they're hoping to do better the next day.
Yeah. And they interviewed a few women who said that they don't like them because, they're just creepy old men trying to get young girls.
And they're not wrong. After watching Daughters of the Cult and all these other shows, I have a lot more. I understand these women a lot more. I'm with you.
Yeah. And of course, Cody's upset because, he doesn't like this. And he says, all the cool guys in the Old Testament had more than one wife and Jesus didn't condemn them. Okay, Cody.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Life is hard. He's sick of people thumping their Bibles at him.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff in the Old Testament that we don't do anymore for good reason. Okay.
But the other thing is, were people actively coming up to him? I feel like if people were actively coming up to him, saying something to him, then we would have seen that on camera. It's more of, okay, you're mad about the chitter chatter. He
probably watched the producers went out and they filmed these people, and he probably saw that.
Ugh, how dare Susan
from St. George.
Yeah, or Karina.
Yes,
I wrote down
don't condemn me.
And think I'm controlling as I control this thing over here. Yeah. So they only sold 19 pieces total, which is a far cry than what they needed to.
100.
But I wish they would have told us, how many books did you sell? How many of these things did you sell? I feel like they probably made more money than they're saying. But anyway, the jewelry's not working. And so Janelle has convinced her that real estate is the way to go. So she's out now.
Yeah.
For now.
Well, and Mary makes the comment. She says that Robin thinks that everyone has to be interested in this business, but really Mary and Robin can just do it themselves. And she's not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, if Mary's willing to do it, and they should have just joined forces. But
yeah. Well, and that's the other weird thing too, where Robin, I think this is Robin's problem is that I don't know what she thought this business was going to do for her, for the family, for all of them. But she really went into this with we all have to do it. We all have to be invested in it. We all have. It's really?
I think this is part of her wanting to prove that she's a valuable part of the family, that she can be an earner, because she's still never earned any money for the family.
Well,
she's really trying to prove herself, I feel like.
Yes. And at the same time, this is in a later episode, there are times for her to be able to prove her worth, and she doesn't. I mean, this whole Christine thing that we see later on with the real estate is a great example of, but this is when Robin should be stepping in and helping you with your kids if you have to go to a showing on a Saturday.
Exactly.
And that's when I was like, what happened? Because Christine says something very interesting here. She's like, I see Mary and Robin and their tight bond. And she's like, I want that too, but it's too much energy for her.
Yeah.
And so we're already seeing, and I think especially we'll see it more and more, we're already seeing the deep, deep cracks between Cody and Christine.
Yeah.
I mean, deep.
I
It's
think,
bad.
yes, I think Cody was pissed at Christine's reaction to the Sister Wives Closet not wanting to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then why wasn't he mad at Janelle for not wanting to do it? But he really, like, there are times where, you know, because Christina's flip-flopping about how she feels about it. And whenever she says something negative about it, Cody just gives her this look like he's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, why can't you support Robin in this? Because it's so important to Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And he really wants it to be successful because Robin wants it.
So this is the question is why can he respect Janelle flip-flopping and not respect Christine? And I often wondered if, I think some of it's personality. I think Janelle is a more serious person, and I think she's stronger. She comes across as a lot stronger in many ways than Christine. And I think that Cody really dismisses Christine. And I also wonder too, if the fact that Janelle produced a lot of boys is a big difference, because she produced 4 boys versus
who are very manly.
Yes.
You know,
and
and Cody likes that.
Yes. And his favorite, Daddy Logan, she produced those children. She produced the firstborn male. And versus Christine, who produced all these girls that are like, hi, you know, McKelty and wacky. And
Gwen.
Yeah, you know, who are a little bit you know, a little bit kooky, a little bit different, you know. And I wonder that too.
Yeah, I think he just has more respect for Janelle for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But
that because she worked outside the home, had a degree. I don't know.
Well, because he knows that if Janelle doesn't want to do the jewelry, she'll go do something else, and she'll bring in money some other way. Christine, he doesn't know how she's gonna, you know, fit into any of this, because you see her just quit the real estate thing, which I think made him angry too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but yeah, we go back to this. Robin really feels like for the family to be united, they have to have a business together. That's what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
But next, you know what? We don't have time for this anymore because it's Solomon's birthday.
Yes. We have to have a party.
So the party's happening at Mary's house, and Robin and Solomon go over to Mary's house first, and they need to talk about Robin's offer. Oh God. Now we're back to this again. So I guess the Solomon being a year means it's been 1 year since Robin made that offer to Mary. And so Mary, we learn it feels guilty not to take the offer, which I understand that. And then she's still torn, and she doesn't know if she wants to do in vitro. And it's like, oh Lord, we have not made any progress in 1 year.
No. And I thought it was interesting. Robin said in a talking head interview, she said every woman should have the choice of whether or not she wants to have kids.
That's a very interesting comment about women's rights.
Yeah, but we don't know what she means by that. Does she mean, you know, in the context of, you know, this context, whether or not to, or a context where, you know,
yes,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Well,
anyway,
but Robin says she just wanted, you know what? She just wanted another sister wife to raise younger kids. She does say that. Does she say that, or I wrote that down? I truly think that was her motivation. Was I'm going to make this very selfless offer that seems selfless, that I think most likely won't come to fruition. But even still, I'll be a saint to Cody if I do it and go through it. And I think she's also wanting to plant in Mary's head about having young children and raising them together. But, you know, mind you, Christine has Truly, who's very young still. And like, you could be raising Solomon with Truly, you know, or Savannah. You know, Savannah's very young
only
too.
Like 5 or something.
So that's the thing. It's like, but it's weird. It's like she wants it with Mary because she and Mary are so close. But I don't even know
how close they really are.
And I really wonder if they've ever really had a true friendship. That's what I've always wondered. Like, what are they like outside of, you know, away from the cameras? Like, what kind of friendship is this? Because it really feels like the most put upon and just friendship I've ever seen.
Yeah. And even, I think Mary was already kind of sick of her. Remember when they were talking about the 11-day honeymoon and all the wives were sitting on the couch complaining about it? And right then you could see Mary was not happy and talking about how jealous she was and how hard this was. And she didn't think it was going to be like this. And what about her? She kind of like felt abandoned. And so it had started very quickly to go downhill. But yeah, Mary's 42. She's not gonna she's not gonna go through all that. I don't know when we can finally put this to bed. But
Hopefully
anyway,
soon.
Solomon's birthday party, and I wrote down here, did Truly get a first birthday party? Because I missed that.
Oh, maybe it wasn't on camera. Yeah. No, I don't remember her first. No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And then after the party's over, guess what they do? They go look at the houses.
Oh, God, I know. Well, first I thought it was it's so Robin to do the birthday wish with the balloons. Like, write a wish down, not for yourself, but for Solomon.
For Solomon.
This 1-year-old.
Who has no idea what's happening.
Or because usually people do this when someone dies or it's a collective thing. What is your wish? Letting that go. What do you want to release? I'm like, so we're all supposed to write wishes for a 1-year-old. What kind of wishes can you have? Like, I hope you have a happy life. I hope you, it was so stupid. And then releasing balloons, which we all know is not a good thing to do.
It's a no-no.
So, but they didn't know that at the time. But yes, then they go back to the house and they make all the kids go.
Yes, and they say, we're hoping to be in by Christmas. Again, making promises that, they may or may not be able to keep. And so then they all draw the names for the gift exchange.
By the houses.
By the houses.
Yes. I mean, but no wonder Mona and the builders hate them. Because it's like, God damn it, stop coming here all the time.
We see in the next episode, it really gets, Mona has to really reprimand them.
But at the end, we see the little kids on the couch talking about things. And then the big thing that we see is Leon saying, I want to be in the houses before Christmas. And that's the big, big thing. And that becomes the theme of this season.
Yes.
And season 6 is really long.
Yeah.
It's really long.
It is long. A lot happens too. It's going to be a good season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm excited to be back in the rewind. Woohoo.
Yeah. Well, with the den of lies.
Yes. More hunting for clues about what's to come.
Oh, God. And some of them you don't even have to hunt for them. They're like right out there.
We're pretty glaring.
For sure. All right.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
And we will be here doing the rewind every Tuesday until we run out of episodes or another season starts.
Yes.
Whichever comes first.
Whichever comes first.
And tune in for our Thursday episodes as well. This Thursday, we're going to be talking about... Well, we're going to talk about a couple cases. We're not going to recap these shows, but we're going to talk about Natalia Grace and also Gypsy Rose Blanchard, kind of in the context of, these type of shows that are examining extreme trauma and how it's dealt with and how it's, this is kind of a phenomenon right now. So anyway, that should be interesting. So tune in for that. And if you haven't already, if you could please subscribe to our podcast, we would appreciate that. That would really help the podcast grow. And also, if you like it, please give us a 5-star rating. That would also really help. And also share it with a friend. You can just share this episode or any episode with a friend. Do you think they might like it? Turn them on to the podcast. We are on social media, Instagram, TikTok at PsychLegalPop. And
and we are open to sponsorships. If anyone wants to sponsor the podcast.
Oh, how do they do that?
Well, they just need to write to us at psychlegalpoppodcast@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah. We talked about this. We want to be open.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, what kind of sponsor? You're talking about like advertising?
Yes. Advertising sponsorships.
Okay.
We will, obviously things that are connected to mental health law, something that, pertains to us, obviously, but, if someone wants to reach out or has an idea, or you're a fan of the show and you have a small business, then we got to start somewhere.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. See you soon.
Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.